Hey everybody, welcome to another show where we call Box Seats. This is a show where we talk to comedians about sports. And I definitely have to start working on getting some music together for that last piece. I don't know why I keep forgetting. I just keep forgetting it. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that. Anyway, like I said, this is the show where we talk about sports with comedians. We talk about all the hottest topics and everything else, and we get ready to have the final show before this weekend countdown. And let me jump in right now by saying I'm excited before I introduce this next comedian because he and I have known each other for a couple of years. This dude has been tearing up the stages for decades. This guy's been tearing the stages for decades. One of Chicago's own. He does his own Thug Fizzle. My man Sean Morgan. Sean, how you doing, bro? How's
All
everything, man?
right, all right, all right. What's good, brother?
Nah, I like that shirt, bro. I like that. I like that shirt. Yeah, I like
Our
that. I like
season over, but it's all right. It's still a good look.
I'm waiting for a couple other comics to join us, man. But we're going to talk about some topics that everybody's been talking about all week. We've talked about some of the things all week, and some of the things are obviously pertaining to football was getting ready to get their picks and everything else. Before we jump into that, um, I don't know if you've been watching the NBA lately, and I'm not even that's not even the point. The point that I'm about to make right now is there's an issue going on in the NBA where people are shooting too many threes. People are upset about shooting too many threes. The NBA is getting ready to go say this thing as, you know what? We got to make a fix. We got to do something because it's people like, for example, the Boston Celtics are shooting on average 63s a game. You know what I mean?
That's
And the top
insane.
four teams in the league, they're shooting on average 45 to 55 threes a game. So as you notice, there are teams that like Oklahoma City, Cleveland, is blowing teams out because they're hitting their threes. Ultimately they're hitting their threes. So let me ask you this, man. If you are the NBA commissioner right now and you said, damn, I gotta fix this. There's too many people shooting too many threes. What solution would you have to fix this? People taking too many threes. Because I have a solution, and honestly, the solution I have, I heard from somebody else. I thought it was a great thing, and I'm like, I want,
Now, let me hear yours, and then
okay, all right. I had one solution, but let me hear. I'm gonna tell you what I heard this guy the other day say his solution. I thought it was brilliant. This is what he said. This guy's name is Jermaine Wiggins. He's on Sports Talk Radio here in Boston. He said, "This is what we do." He said, "Instead of taking away the NBA 3-point line and instead of taking away the corner threes and everything else, what we could do is have nobody hit any threes right now. Like you can shoot threes all day, but they don't count into the last 5 minutes of each quarter." And I was like, that's kind of dope. Then he said, you could even do it at the end of the half or at the end of the game. And I was like, you know what? That's brilliant. And this is why I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant because the simple fact being, if your team's down by 12 or 18 points, right? You're playing and you're shooting by twos and you're losing the game. Now you can sub in you or me. We are 3-point specialists, and you have 5 minutes to go to tie the game and catch up the game, and you're able to do that. Or the team that's already winning, beating you now, they can put their shooter in, and then they can completely blow you out. But what it does is it brings back the teams and it brings back the game to what it used to be. Whereas we played, basketball, driving to the hole, doing layups and inside out basketball. It just brings back the game to what it used to be instead of people complaining of where they are, because there's a lot of people complaining right now more than ever than it's ever happened before. Mind you, Sean, people weren't complaining when Golden State and Steph Curry was hitting all them threes and winning back-to-back championships. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
right.
People are complaining right now because people are getting blown out. Like their favorite team come in, the Celtics come in, Golden State come in, Cleveland come in, OKC come in. Anybody come in, and the team's tight. Next thing you know, they go on a run, and then in that run, these guys are hitting 12 threes straight. Now you're down, but literally you could be down by 40 when you you look up. You could be down 20 to 40 just like that. So
Right.
that's his take. I was like, that's dope. What you have an idea what you would do, or you like that? I don't know what it is.
I don't see that's like on the fence for me
Okay.
because if you down big and you only have a limited amount of time to come back, that's you know that kind of work more I think against people. In my opinion, better defensive drills. Like
See, there you
people
go.
can't hit threes with hands in their face, or people can say what they want to, but with this ticky tack, everybody get to dribble. Traveling quadruple step. Step back quad. Euro stepping, like take all of that shit. I mean, take all of that out the game. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And it'll limit that. You know what I'm saying? If you got somebody that can take 40 steps back and then launch,
Right.
yeah, call the travel.
Hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? Well, allow people to put a little bit of a body on you,
Yeah.
and that you know, because it's all mechanics. So if you can do something to stop the mechanics, then you
Mhm.
stop the shot.
I can't even dispute what you're saying because again, that brings back to being able to just play the game of basketball. I also want to stop for a second and introduce Dave, the business bully, is in the building. Dave, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
Frank, I'm having an absolutely awesome day. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay. I got comedian Sean Morgan in the building right now.
What's
I don't know
good,
if you
sir?
know each other,
What
but
up?
but right now the topic is this. I came up. Well, I didn't come up myself personally. I heard a sports talk guy come up with a way to tweak the 2 minute threes, and he was saying this guy by the name of Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins, on Sports Talk Radio. He was saying don't count any threes into the last 5 minutes of the game or the last 5 minutes of the quarter, and obviously it makes like I was telling Sean, it makes people now have to play regular basketball before, like they were playing before the 3-point shot was implemented. And then it takes people like the Celtics and the OKCs of the world and Cleveland, instead of shooting 50 to 63s a game. Because, for example, the Celtics the other night shot more threes than twos. You know what I mean? The other day, they just shot more threes than twos. And that's their average for the season. Hell, that's their average for the last 2 seasons. They shoot more threes than twos. So Wiggy on Sports Talk Radio, WEEI, said the best way he thinks is to do this is say, you know what? You all eliminate the threes, except now you can put it in the last minute of the quarter, last 5 minutes of the quarter, or the last 5 minutes of each half. And if you're down by 18 or you're down by 20, now you sub a sharpshooter in. And when you sub that sharpshooter in, what that does is now allows you to be able to catch up or completely get blown out. What you think about that? And Sean gave me his idea. He's like, listen, Sean was like, you sit back and you play ball. What's your take on that? What you think?
I'm sorry, Frank. Maybe I have all of this confused. I thought basketball was whoever puts the ball in the hoop the most and gets the most points wins. Now, because most people aren't as skilled with 3-point shots, those teams that have people who can shoot the lights out are being looked at. I feel like I'm back in college, Frank, because they were great on the curve, and now you curving down from my 96, and you mad because I actually read books while you didn't. And no, that's not happening. My whole thing is these folks, honestly, Frank, are taking so many threes, it's starting to look like Dollar Tree. It's cheap, it's everywhere, and it don't even land half the time. So my main thing is the last 5 minutes does not sound like a good idea. I think most people need to just learn how to shoot, strength and conditioning, work in the off season, like play your position, play better basketball. Because if you go fiddling with the product too much, you're going to lose even more market share.
Well,
Very.
I mean,
Go ahead, Sean. What's your thoughts?
so I feel what you're saying, but this go back to the LeBron effect, bro. Like as a kid, when I was a kid, right, watching basketball in the 80s and the 90s, right? You could at least name two superstars on every team. Now, the supporting cast may not have been as great on other teams, but every team had two stars,
Yeah.
right? Two people that was completely capable. Now, you got seven of the best three-pointer shooters on one team and wondering why it's dominant. You in essence, the LeBron effect in essence created the pick all the best people on the court, and then be gratified in winning. And that was a defeatist attitude, and it's affecting the game, how we know it. Because now instead of having an even wash of teams, the two stars per organization, you top heavy. So it's either you got 100 shooters and no shooters on this team, but I just think maybe that's the other solution. Play better defense and spread the talent out.
Yeah, because I grew up in the 80s too, and I remember the Los Angeles Lakers having, hold on, James Worthy,
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who got ejected from a game and took the ball, didn't even look, and hooked it while he walked out of the arena. You had Magic Johnson, like you had AC Green, you had all these players. Like sometimes some people know how to pick great teams. My whole thing is because you suck or because you have a front office that don't know whether to take a dump or wind their watch. Everybody's crying. To me, this is like DEI. This is like we want to turn the NBA into Special Olympics. These are supposed to be the best of the best of the best. So either the talent pool sucks, or the management sucks, or the agents suck. But my whole thing is tweaking 3-pointers doesn't make any of those other people better stars. Now, does it?
Nah, like I said, even when I was growing up, the team that used to get bullied was the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? Everybody used to beat up on the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they still had a KG, they still had a Pooh Richardson.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? They just
That
didn't
is true.
have a supporting cast. So if you spread the talent out, even there's still gonna be people to get bodied, but at least it's a little more fair than having 5 superstar starters on one team and then no superstars on another team. Of course they're gonna get blown out. If you got 10 people playing pickup ball on the court, and you pick all the people that's 6 feet and up and could dunk and put them against all the people 5'11" and lower that can't dunk, then of course it's gonna be a blowout. That's just logic. And at that point, it's not even skill set because they might be good passers or good at what they do. But I mean, like you said, the ultimate goal is to put the ball in the hoop. So if you towering over everybody can reject everybody's shot, that's going to affect the outcome.
Yeah.
See, you touching on, Sean, you open up the door to something that me and my homie Kev, I've been trying my best not to bring this debate up, because I hate this debate, the LeBron versus Jordan debate. And you open up the door. I think you're trying to open the door purposely because I know I think you purposely doing that. I ain't trying to go there. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to go there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to bring up the LeBron thing because I don't think LeBron is the issue on this particular thing. You know what I mean? Dave might
the mentality though.
No, but what he's saying is let me jump in here because I know exactly what he's saying. There was a time when LeBron James was literally the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was 1-on-5, and them 5 people were tired because LeBron was killing everybody. What was happening was he did not have any support, and as phenomenal as he is, he's human. And so what he decided to do, he wanted to take his talent to Miami, and then he went and got a couple of monsters. And that became the mentality or the mindset of everybody else. It's kind of like when somebody decided to go to St. Louis and sign Nelly. Then you started to get chingy. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, and there's a couple of rubber bands, and there's a couple of and those, but it's not really working the way that it worked at one good time. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Again,
but Jordan all day.
Yeah, I know. Again, just open the door because I'm a Jordan guy. I don't even think LeBron is the cause of all this. But again, that's open up the door for another different subject.
I think LeBron is the cause because he
that's what I knew he was going to say. I knew he was going to say. He
created team stacking. No one did that in the history of any sports like that until he did it. The super team, like look, and not to take it to a Jordan debate, but Jordan's first championship team, the starters were Bill Cartwright, who was 77 years old, Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen, and John Paxson, a spot shooting
Sean, are you saying he was
70,
Sean, are you saying he was 77 when he was playing, or are you saying
Bill Cartwright was 77. He had the ugliest jump shot in the history of jump shots. Michael Jordan won a championship with him. Dickie Simpkins got a championship because of Michael Jordan. Ed Neely got a championship. Do you look at that Miami team, bro? Mike Miller was coming off the bench. Mike Miller was coming off the bench, bro.
Yeah.
They had 2 starting 5s.
They did.
It was bananas.
And they lost the first time. Let's not forget either. They lost the first time they went out there too. We can't forget that either.
Yeah, no, they lost more than they won actually. But it still created the phenomenon of making a KD want to go over here, or making this person want to go over there, and make that person want to go over there. And like it affected everything, bro. It affected the All-Star game. It affected everything, bro. Everything sucks now because everybody's on 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams.
Yeah. I can't even dispute that because you're absolutely right. I don't know what happened to Dave. Dave disappeared. All right, here Hi to the ladies who are out there watching. We appreciate all the ladies out there watching and the gentlemen too. I can see people tuning in. Appreciate your comments and things like that. Let me see if there's even more comments out there. Y'all need to, if y'all want to ask Sean Morgan, comedian Sean Morgan, something, let me just let you know. It's not like he does interviews and it's not like he does lives all the time. This brother is one of the most laid back brothers. If you want to shoot him some questions, he's out there right now. He don't do this. He don't do Sean. So I appreciate you being on, just off the rip doing this. So I appreciate
Nah, I
that.
mean, it's you. So anything you ask me to do, I'm gonna do. Yeah, nah, I don't do a lot of nothing. I
Yeah,
definitely stay out
that's
the
why I
way.
appreciate it. So, all right, let me just throw this out there and change the subject. I don't know if you heard about this one, Sean, because we talk about LeBron, but LeBron's right-hand man, Maverick Carter, approached the league with something I mentioned yesterday. When Maverick Carter came to the league yesterday, he said, or the news came out yesterday, that he has got a group of investors, and the group of investors, they were able to tally up $5 billion, and they want to create their own league. You know what I mean? Overseas league. This is huge. And I was like, okay, this is huge. Now, of the thing that he's doing, he's got investors, he's got teams, he's got people who want to, chime in from all over the world. And then I heard Stephen A. say something about this morning, and I heard people talk about it yesterday. There's so many different ways to look at this, and I was like, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think LeBron is trying to leverage the NBA into make sure he gets to become part ownership of an NBA team, and he's trying to scare the NBA by saying, if you all don't let me get on with this, I'm gonna start my own league, because my own league is gonna be in Europe, and we're gonna have players from all over the world come in. And not that we're gonna rival you, but we're gonna take some of that drama because I'm involved, and I can get some of my boys involved and help me with this league pulling off. And then I could go somewhere else too with this. What you think, Sean?
I think that an IBA would light a flame in the NBA under the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Because and I think it'll be beneficial for multiple reasons. Like, I hate to bring up the LeBron thing again, but like the Bronny thing, right? The reason I didn't care for it, everybody else was like, oh, he did this for his son. If his son was a better player, I would be 100 for it. But Bronny needs for nothing, right? He's fine financially, whatever. And that was an opportunity that could have changed somebody else's life. And so adding another NBA and another maybe 30 teams, that could be life changing, because a lot of this people don't see the broader spectrum. This is a career. This is how people make money. It's for our entertainment, but this is how people eat. So even if they're a bum, they get kicked out the league, they're not eating anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm all for anything as far as expansion, as long as it's entertaining and it gives people, opportunity.
Okay, so that's one way you can look at it, and I love that thought process. He's right on. Dave, he's right on with that. But there's also other ways you can look at this too. So you tell me what you think, then I'll chime in. What you think?
Well, I mean, we know what I'm going to say, Frank. I'm a businessman. Let's not play games here. Maverick is setting up LeBron to be the first active billionaire to transition into owning a team. If you're targeting cities like London and Paris and Berlin, it's genius for expanding the sport. You can't take that away from it. But let's not act like this move is personal, Frank. LeBron's not building a league just to grow basketball for the world. No, he's building one so he can look at Michael Jordan in the eye and be like, listen, I own Europe. You have Charlotte.
That's a great point. See, I knew there was going to be some point. That's a great point. That's the business perspective. And instead of getting 1 billion, now you're looking at like 50 or 60 billion, because because you're getting money. Sean, that's why I want to open the door to you too, Sean, because now you're getting money from the Middle East. Now you're getting money from China. Now you're getting money from Asia, Asia overall, not just China. You're getting money from Asia overall, and now you're getting money from just all over the world instead of just United States, because the United States is trying to.
It's a couple billion people just in China alone. So even if you could get 1% of them people into your league, that's a big number. You know what I mean? You just got to target 1 percentile in China and go crazy. You the biggest owner ever. But I mean, it's a good business move, and again, I think it's a great opportunity for for other people, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But like Dave said, the NBA is focusing on London, they're focusing on Berlin, they're focusing on Paris. But Dave, since you're the businessman of here,
Yes,
let me
sir.
throw this out there. Let me throw this out there. I also heard this stat. Luka Doncic and SGA and a couple of guys, I heard it today on Sports Center, and then I even looked it up. They are on par. Literally, these athletes are on par to set up to make $100 million per year, not per contract, not for 5 years, not for 7 years. They on pace to make $100 million. So is this thing going to spiral out of bounds to think because of what's happening now with this thing that LeBron's doing? Are we, or is it LeBron's fault, or should LeBron had nothing to do with this? Because honestly, the leveraging between one to the other, and then players getting so much money, I can't even imagine a player getting $100 million a year. And
so how is that? How are they doing that? I understand how football does it, but how is the NBA even doing that with a cap?
Dave, you want to take that, or you want me to take it?
No, you go ahead and take it, Frank.
Okay, here's how they're going to do it, because the Players Association is going to be able to, they're going to circle back and say, hey, you guys are making this amount of money now because the new contracts are coming in from TV rights and from worldwide rights and everything, because now the NBA is about to move to London, Berlin, Paris. They're trying to move to those three markets specifically to get the international dollar. And if the NBA overall makes more money, guess what happens? Luka makes more money. Tatum makes more money. Everybody else, because they ain't gonna sit there and let the owners continue to make money. Like they say with the water, what's the exact saying they say? All ships rise when the tide
rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, tide lifts all boats. And the players ain't gonna be sitting over here saying y'all gonna continue to make more money and we're not. No, they're gonna be like, and I want to throw this out there too. John Koncak, I wrote this down a couple of days ago because me and the homies in the backstage talked about this, and I think John Koncak was the first person who did this, and he's the fault of this. John Koncak was a part-time player, and he got $13 million contract, $13 million, for 5 or 7 years in 1989, and it was an unheard of deal for a part-time player at the time. And John Koncak, if you guys remember, he played for the Atlanta Hawks. He played with Dominique Wilkins and everything else. And I remember seeing this in the trades, and I was like, this dude is a bum. How the hell he get $13 million? But what he did was, you remember that? You remember how
he's trash.
John Koncak was a bum, but they were so scared about him. And I was like, you know what? This dude might literally start to set out ruining the league. And this was in '87 when he did it. Yeah. Now here we are. Fast forward 2025, Sean. And players are 3 years out from getting $100 million. Jason Tatum right now is getting about to get $45 million a year starting next year. You know what I mean? Jaylen Brown's about to get, I think it's $35 million a year, and they're gonna keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, because I remember when Jordan had came back from retirement, they threw him like $50 million a season or something, and that was back then. So if you tack on inflation, you can't really, we've seen it, so you can't really be mad. You're mad at the price, but you're not thinking of the inflation. Do you get what I'm saying? Because there was people, Shaq and them was doing $30 million a season in the 90s. So the equivalent to that now is probably about that. I mean, I'm not a mathematician. I don't know inflation like that, but I'm guessing that, 30 million back then is pretty more significant now toward what they're getting. And you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm?
Yeah,
I so I think it's probably balanced. It just seems a lot more astronomical, but we used to get chips 4 bags for $1 and they're $1 a piece now. So
you know what? His analogies, boy, they be on point, Dave. Even though it's simple, like listen, chips. I'm gonna quote that though, Sean. Just like,
chips used to be $4 for $1, and now they're $1 a bag.
Yeah, and
he's absolutely right.
And the air, even what he didn't say is there's even more air. You know,
a lot more air. Them bags more bloated than what I was when I started this show, Frank. The thing that I think people need to understand is right. So with Koncak, he was making more money than Larry Johnson, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, even though he was just a role player. And you can't get mad at a $13 million 6-year deal, because the truth of the matter is, he was trash. Yes, he was average. You know what? I want to be generous and call him a role player. But the real MVP and the person that most people ignore is his agent.
Yeah.
It is not. And I tell this to my business coaching clients. I tell this to comedians who tell me, oh, well, the club won't pay me what I'm worth. And I'm like, it's not what you're worth. It's what you negotiate. And the truth of the matter is, after that, he broke down the door like Roger Bannister did the 4-minute mile. Yeah, I mean, after that, people was just getting money everywhere. It was like Oprah in the NBA. You get a bag. You get a bag. Everybody gets a bag. So to me, it's a much bigger thing. But with the whole NBA thing going international and LeBron and Maverick doing this whole league, I think y'all are missing out on the biggest payday in history. Mark my words, by the end of 2027, Saudi Arabia is going to be entering this league. And if you think it can't happen, look at what the WWE did with Saudi Arabia. The Hall of Fame for the World Wrestling Entertainment Corporation is in Saudi Arabia, and it's selling out.
Yeah, they got all the money.
Yeah. So your cap don't mean nothing no more. Your cap absolutely means nothing. Plus, with everybody doing all this dual citizenship stuff, oh, bro, this is about to be a very interesting last half of this decade.
And Dave, let's not sleep on the fact that Netflix has not entered the game where you could broadcast worldwide. You know what I mean? Like Netflix, I was saying
they need to get a little better with it, but they do. Yeah, because the fight froze and the football game was locking up a little bit. Like, if they get it on point, they could really corner everything with that.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at Monday Night Raw, for example, which did more numbers than anybody had expected at that point. Plus, you look at the amount of subscriptions that are being made and the fact that you can broadcast simultaneously in multiple global markets that you couldn't reach before. It doesn't matter how good it is. It matters how long it is. You understand what I'm saying to you? And Netflix is walking around here like the cock of the walk. Pick up what I just threw down.
Listen, Dave. I can't even dispute anything you say, because what I try to do when you get up here, Dave, is I try to come up with something to dispute. We align up with a lot of thoughts processes, the same thing. You know, we line up with a lot of this. All right, so next thing I want to talk about is, does the NFL need to revise the Rooney Rule? If you're sitting at home, you're trying to figure out what the Rooney Rule is. The Rooney Rule is this. It's simple. It's all NFL teams must interview at least one minority candidate for a head coaching job, per season. You have to do it. You got to get this ball rolling to be able to do it. And Dave, I'm gonna start with you, because at the end of the day, I'm sure you have some thoughts. Not that Sean doesn't.
No,
because I'm sure Sean has a lot of thoughts on this. Dave, how do you revise the Rooney Rule? Or should the NFL revise the Rooney Rule?
First of all, I'm not even going to be funny. This is a league that in my lifetime said that black people don't have the intellectual capacity to play quarterback. Mm-hmm. Let's just start there. In my lifetime, we started to see black head coaches, black defensive coordinators, black offensive coordinators, black GMs. So we're not that far removed, because I'm not even 50 yet. The Rooney Rule, okay, you know what the Rooney Rule is like? Just the other day, my wife gets a notice from jury duty, right? And when you do it, you have to do it because it's your civic duty. Sean, you don't understand what I'm saying. It's your civic duty as an American citizen to show up down to the courthouse and show up for jury duty. Mm-hmm. That's what the Rooney Rule is. They're calling black coaches and they're saying, listen, we're going with somebody else, but we appreciate you showing up. At this point, they might as well just start giving Negroes NFL Starbucks branded gift cards and saying, we appreciate you for coming out. Thanks for your time. We just had to do this so we won't get fined.
Okay. Right. Okay. Now I'm gonna throw this out there, because ultimately, to be fair, I'm always be fair. Let me start with Sean. I'm always be fair. Sean, the New England Patriots hired Gerard Mayo, right? I don't think it's a black or white thing. I think they hired him because they thought he was the best coach for the job at the particular time. He's a black man. But when I tell you this dude was one of the lousiest coaches the New England Patriots have ever had, all time, in the entire history of the franchise, and I love him as what he's doing, and I love what he's doing in the community. I love all of that. I'm not trying to tear down a black man, not trying to do that. But to me, when you put somebody in the trenches of a franchise that's worth $1 billion, and you've got to have all these leader of men behind you, you got to do the job well. You know what I mean? So I don't look at it as like a black or white thing. I just look at it like, if you're going to do it well. That's my take on it. What's your take on it?
Well, I mean, it's of course it's always sensationalized. Like me
Yeah.
being a Bears fan, we have the biggest example
Yep.
of overhype based on color, right?
Yep.
So like everybody talks about Lovey Smith because I mean, if Lovey Smith what and this is just my opinion, but if he'd have been a white coach, people would have seen him for what he was. But everybody cheered for him because he's a black guy. He seemed personable, right? So
Hmm.
we ignored the fact that his record was good because he had an Erlacher and he had a Briggs and he had a Peanut Tillman and a Mike Brown in their prime. I could have coached that team. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I could have took some Madden plays and took that team to the Super. But we must remember what he did in that circumstance, and that was to bench the person that actually got him to the Super Bowl and lost it.
Hmm.
So he's been exposed multiple times. He went to Miami and got exposed. He just got exposed again in Houston, which proves he wasn't a good coach, but he probably got those opportunities because he's a good guy. He was Black Lovey.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So
You're making my point. You're literally making
yeah,
my point. So my point is, Dave, he's
Yes,
making my
sir.
point. So do we revise the Rooney Rule now and just take the whole thing out? Because at the end of the day, black coaches can be bums just as bad as white coaches can be. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
yeah. I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
racism is still here, but I
Right.
don't think that it plays as much of a part as it did 30 years ago. Do
Right.
you understand what I'm saying?
I
I
agree.
still think I hit the N word with the hard ER when ain't nobody looking, but I don't think that it influences people's decisions as much as it used to because a lot of these grandkids aren't the same kind of racist as their grandparents were.
No.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I
100.
think that you can kind of lift it a little bit because people are a little more open minded and insightful anyway,
Okay,
in
so
my opinion.
that brings me to my point, Dave. At the end of the day, should we throw out the Rooney Rule?
Yeah, I think it's time for it to go. And to Sean's point, I wholeheartedly agree. These new racists are not like their grandparents. Their grandparents would just hang us with rope. They're hanging us up in red tape. So to me, I think the Rooney Rule is absolutely pointless. And yes, I think everybody should be based on a meritocracy. I've never wanted to be, the black comedian. I wanted to be the comedian that happened to be black. I never wanted to be the black businessman. I wanted to be the businessman who happened to be black. If you're dope, you're dope. If you suck, you suck. And as comics, we all know that there's some days you can rip the throats out of an audience, and some days you can absolutely stink up the joint. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. But the Rooney Rule has not been effective by and large to bring more quote unquote diversity to the league. It more feels like an albatross around the necks, and then that's why they go out and they'll just start interviewing people they have absolutely no intention of hiring. If you get rid of the Rooney Rule and you create a situation where they're going off of stats and meritocracy, then there's a better chance for fairness, and it gives you an opportunity, if you're a coach that doesn't get interviewed, to start suing for discrimination, especially if you got the numbers to back it up.
See, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not trying to go down that path. I
I
agree with
know.
you. Not trying to go down
Always
that
pissing
path.
off the censors, Frank.
Yeah. You're in the tree and you got a branch. You just went down that. I'm not trying to go down there, but I'm gonna come back to that. Sean, I'm gonna switch the subject up before because I want to get our NFL picks out of the way because I'm switching one of my picks in a second. I'm gonna tell you all which pick I'm switching in a second. All right, so here's the next topic. Miami Dolphins are gonna host NFL's first game in Real Madrid, Spain next season. And the crazy thought about that is we've been talking about the NBA expanding in Europe and creating their own league thanks to Maverick Carter and LeBron James and everything else. Quiet is kept. The NFL has been planting seeds every season by having 2 games, and now they're supposed to have 4 games next season of NFL games being played literally in Europe. So what's
Yeah,
happening is,
they've been doing that Europe and in like you said in
yeah,
they did one in like Central America or something this
yep,
year,
they
didn't
did.
they?
They did. So are
Yeah.
they the biggest shot? Are they the one who's really we should be looking out for? Is the NBA should be one we're looking out for? We overlooking the whole thing. What's your thoughts on the NFL trying to make this thing as a worldwide brand?
I don't. This is why I think. See, with basketball, you could be a little friendlier, but I don't think that it's going to translate to football because I think that the rest of the world, like if you look at rugby and you look at their tough sports, they don't care about CTE and all that stuff. So if you bring that set of rules, I think it kind of softens the league, and I don't think that's gonna You know what I mean? I don't think that people are going to bite into it with the new friendlier flag football league in Madrid. Like if they could beat Madrid and you could go back to knocking helmets off, then I think that would be better because at least it's not here in home and it's over there and you playing by their rules per se. But
Yeah.
if it's these rules, I don't think it's going to be a good expansion.
Yeah, I don't even know how the NFL expands like this, Dave, because people don't play football worldwide. They play soccer worldwide, but they don't play football. Basketball, they play worldwide, so it's easier
Right.
for them to implement. But Dave, what's your thoughts on Miami Dolphins? Now they're playing in Real Madrid with this in a sport where, if you ask me, I don't see how that stadium is going to be full of people from Spain. I think it'll be full of people who travel from America
Yeah,
to
it'd
go
be
to
like the
Spain.
Olympics.
Same thing. That's what I think it's going to be. That's what I think. But what's your thought?
I mean, Frank, the truth of the matter is they're trying to build a global fan base. And I'm not mad at that. But I remember when I was about 14, 15 years old, Andre Harrell spent about $15 million trying to get all the DJs to pronounce Jodeci the right way. There's a certain level of education that has to come with a sport that the majority of the world ain't that familiar with. Let's be real. Spanish fans, if they show up at all, are going to be showing up yelling, "Go!" every time the kicker hits a field goal. And if you're not bringing any type of flashcards or Duolingo or some type of translator, from a telenovela, you're gonna be SOL, bro.
He's a translator. Yeah, I like how you slide him in there, Dave. I like how you do that so subtly.
Pause. Frank likes how I slide it in. Mrs. Holder, come get your husband.
She don't have to. She's in the building, so she in the building. See, I like to see Dave. Here you go, Sean. All right, so now this is where we at now. It's time for the picks. I'm gonna be the first one to tell everybody. I've been telling everybody all week. You know what, y'all? Houston's getting ready to stomp on the Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's looking there. I heard this morning there's a major injury, and I got to roll my pick back. I thank God it's Friday. I thank God the time the plays ain't happened yet, because I had in the upset of the weekend, I had Houston Texans upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs, and I had the Philadelphia Eagles upsetting the LA Rams. That's my two picks. Now I'm switching up because Joe Mixon got injured, and he's the last one left. He's the last Indian standing of their team that is phenomenal, and it's been phenomenal for the last half of the year. I'm taking that back. Saying that to say, who you got this weekend between the Chiefs and the Texans? And the Chiefs is getting ready to put it down. So who you got? Who you got, Sean?
I'm never gonna bet against Mahomes, bro. Like, and not trying to be cliche, not trying to be whatever, but he does things with that football, bro, that we've never seen. Underhand throws behind the back, like he's an incredible player, and he's the new age Tom Brady 2.0, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people would say, "Oh, you can't go against Tom Brady." I mean, the only person that could beat Tom was, Manning. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never gonna bet against. I'm never gonna bet against Mahomes, bro. Like he's too much of an impact by himself. Like even when they were bad, right? When they had no receivers, it was their fault because they was dropping them. It was still great passes, and then once they start actually holding on to the ball, they're back into the playoffs.
And so, Dave, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. You're saying?
Yeah, so I'm sticking with KC. I love the young quarterback in Houston, but I don't think that he's poised enough to beat Mahomes yet.
Yeah. So Dave, I'm going to throw this out to you, and I know you're mad at me because I'm picking against the Eagles this week, and we still love each other, we still good. Yes. But am I back down to the world, or did I get you to come on this side of the world saying Kansas City going to get upset? Are you always on the Kansas City side of the world? Where you at?
It's an 8.5 point spread, bro.
Yeah, it is. And it's going to get bigger by tomorrow.
Mahomes is a monster. You can say whatever you want. I don't think it's going to be an easy win, but yeah, no, I gotta be with you on this, Frank. I'm not gonna lie. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way what we all know is going to happen is not going to happen. That's just like if you've been in county lockup for 60 days and you see your wife. I mean,
yeah,
you know what it is.
That's what it is.
On site.
It's going to be a pummeling.
Yeah. All right. So the other game, that I think everybody's looking forward to is the Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills. Here's my question, and I'm gonna ask this question to Sean. Okay, and I had it personally, and I don't know what happened to. Oh, here we go. How loud would the criticism be if Josh Allen loses versus how loud would the criticism be if Lamar Jackson loses? You know what I mean? Because I think we're looking at it, whichever team walks out of there who loses. Not only are you gonna lose the MVP for the quarter, you might switch up coaches. You know what I mean? People are gonna get fired. Like there's gonna be a lot of heads to roll. There's a lot of pressure on this game this week, I think. So, Sean.
Well, it's funny because we was having this debate the other day about uh, who is the true MVP, Allen or Jackson, and people. I'm gonna always cheer for my black people. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if I had to pick, I would have to say Josh Allen is proven to be more valuable to his team and to the league because Lamar had a Derrick Henry, so he
Mm-hmm.
did what he was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do that make sense?
Yeah,
So
100%.
Allen didn't. I mean, he didn't have the same supporting cast, and he still was able to turn the season around because it wasn't looking that great in the beginning. So I think, in my opinion, I hope that Baltimore wins, but I don't think it'll be a bad look for either team because I think everybody kind of know that if you look at the people on paper, that Baltimore is a better team.
Yeah, there are people in the comments like Renee. She said she got to go with Lamar. Dave, this is what I'm gonna say about this before I give the
Mhm.
floor to you.
Mhm.
The most valuable player is the MVP, right?
Yeah.
Who does the most for their team? You could literally make a point, and to me, you could make a point and say, if you take Josh Allen off of the Buffalo Bills, they don't even make the playoffs.
No.
If you take Lamar Jackson off of literally the Baltimore Ravens, they could still make the playoffs. They could, and then with Lamar Jackson, you could make the fakes. Lamar Jackson's getting all his stats and everything else because he has a Derrick Henry, but like Sean said, but Josh Allen, he doesn't really have anybody.
Yeah, he don't have that.
He don't have anybody.
So that
He's
that
getting his
really
stats.
makes him the most
Yeah.
valuable player.
That and you're making that's my point.
That's the
So
point.
I mean, even though statistically speaking, Lamar Jackson is leading every category across the board, but the MVP, Dave, is the most valuable player to that team.
Correct.
Dave, help me bring this on.
Well, Frank, I'm gonna tell you like this: Lamar Jackson in Buffalo weather is a cheat code. That man's legs generate so much heat; he's melting snow before the game starts. I'm telling you straight up and down. It's not even close, man. And I will also say that I think honestly, the Bills' plan better be airtight because Derrick Henry in the snow is like a runaway freight train, bro. Like
he is.
Yeah.
this, I have not been this excited for football this entire season that I am for this weekend. Like I just feel like we've got some amazing games, bro. I'm so happy we're doing the show again because God knows, I'm like, oh my gosh, I already know what the group chat's going to be like this weekend. So yeah, but I think Lamar Jackson is the difference maker in this game.
I forgot to ask Sean who you got. Sean, who you got in this game between Baltimore?
I'm gonna go Baltimore. I'm gonna go Baltimore.
All week long I've been saying Baltimore. Actually, I've been saying all week long I have no idea who's going to win. This is the only game that I think going in, I have no idea who's going to win. If I had to pick, I think it's going to be Baltimore by about that much. I mean,
I'm going to tell you what the difference is for me.
Okay,
it's two differences in my opinion. It's going to be the Derrick Henry factor.
Yeah,
and I think like with Roquan Smith and them, they got a little bit of a better edge on defense, and we know that defense kind of is what wins championships still in football.
Yeah, but can the Bills or the Ravens, whoever wins, especially if it's the Bills are playing at home this week. Can they go to Kansas City and beat the Chiefs? Because if the Chiefs win, you know what I mean? That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think my man's Mahomes, bro. This dude has not at least made it to the conference finals in his entire starting career, bro, which is insane to think about. But I don't think that streak gonna end this year.
And Dave, I think there's something that people are overlooking too. Lamar Jackson, not only is he up for the MVP, not only is he doing what he's going to do, how dope would it be if he goes into Buffalo, beats Buffalo on the road, and then goes into Kansas City and beats them on the road and is an MVP conversation and then gets to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
bro,
that'd be phenomenal.
He will be on Wheaties box. They will put this man's face on tampon packages, Frank.
Yeah, if he get through both of them, he will have.
He will be him. Like, that'll be the only discussion. It'll be like, yeah, we got the NFL, but Lamar Jackson is here, everybody. Like, he's doing all the Jimmys. He's doing Jimmy Walker. He's doing Jimmy Fallon. He's doing Jimmy Kimmel. All the Jimmys again. Chocolate Jimmys is Baskin Robbins. He's doing all the Jimmys. No, pause. Yeah. Politically correct, Frank.
He on one today. He on one today, Sean. He on one. All right, the other game I want to talk about, and I'm not even gonna bring up the Eagles against the Rams because I said it this week. Dave and I have been going back and forth. I think the Rams are gonna upset the Eagles. Dave is the Eagles fan, so we're gonna do that. Sean, just give me a quick thought on that before I ask my next question about the Commanders, because the Commanders and the Lions game I want to hit you up for. But who you got?
I got a really good friend, and he's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
And being an Eagles fan is almost equivalent to being a Cowboys fan. They are going to be phenomenal into the playoffs, and they flop every time, with the exception of the one Super Bowl. So I have to say that I do as well think that the young defense, they proved a lot last week against Minnesota, that they here to play in real life, and I think that's going to be a little too much for Philly. So I'm going to go Rams.
Okay, Dave, I got to give you a rebuttal with the Starsky glasses.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear him through my Tom Ford hater blockers because I was good, and then all of a sudden I felt a disturbance in the force. It looked like a whole lot of hate because these here Eagles. Had to adjust my hoodie. I'm sorry. Let me explain something to you. Have the Cowboys been in the Super Bowl since the 90s?
Nope.
Oh, okay, cool. Have the Cowboys won a Super Bowl since the 90s?
Nah, but I mean, it's the same thing. They'll be 17-1 in the season and then get put out the first round. I mean, Jalen Hurts is. I mean, he got his Super Bowl, but the playoffs have been early knockouts or Super Bowl. That's just what
we're making the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not a good comparison, Sean. We're the Cowboys.
No.
I cannot believe I'm getting this much vitriol from a Bears fan.
Listen, I'm
if this was medieval Europe, I would slap you with a glove and challenge you to a duel, sir. Because you are destroying my honor.
I'm the kid. As a Bears fan, I'm the kid without a father. As the Eagle fan, you the kid whose father comes sometimes.
Now we got to drag daddies into this. Y'all have been riding on the back.
Y'all the little kids sitting in the window waiting for the Cadillac to pull up.
At least we know who our daddies are. Y'all have been test tube babies since William the Refrigerator Perry.
No, my dad. My mom was like ran through.
He's somewhere eating another deep dish pizza on the south side, trying to figure some things out. He headlining right now our riddles. That's all we know.
I don't even know how we got dads into this conversation.
But no, listen, I don't think it's going to be an easy win, but I am optimistic and fair enough to realize that somebody's going to get hurt, and it's not going to be an Eagle. Mm-hmm. This is not. We are not. When I tell you this team is angry right now, listen, just fast forward to Monday, because producers, I want you to take this clip. I am predicting, because I was already there. I know what happens on Sunday. Somebody on the Rams is getting hurt. I said it. That's all I'm saying. So you might win, but you're going to hurt. I don't think you're going to win. But either way, somebody in LA is getting hurt.
And for the record, I like the Eagles. My homeboy used to play for the Eagles 100 years ago. Chicago's finest, Mount Carmel alum. You know what I'm saying? So from the McNabb era to the Vic era, I've always been fond of them. But this Eagles team it's a little different. They winning, but it just hit a little different.
Even when we win, it's not good enough for you people, man. I feel like Snoop Dogg and the Sorcerers. Y'all ain't got enough love for the Eagles.
Hey, they leave him alone. He's a Bears fan. They leave him alone. He's a Bears fan. He all right. He all right.
It's
He's,
okay.
he's dealing with Caleb, and he dealing with.
I've been learning in therapy, Frank,
and
that
that's
trauma.
not fair.
These are
because
trauma
Caleb
responses,
lost,
Frank.
but statistically, he was better than a lot of the rookie quarterbacks.
See what I told you, Dave? He's a Bears fan.
I
how
can
he
take that to my wife. You know what? Listen, honey, the loving, I know the loving was a little mid, but like statistically, I have been performing better
Yeah,
physically since I lost this weight.
Hey,
No, I mean,
see the gray
sometimes you
hair.
just
You
out
should
and out
have
suck.
that kind of. I
It's
see that you
platinum.
got the gray like I got the gray. You should put that kind of pressure on yourself.
It's platinum, bro. I can't I can't diet no more because like every time I diet, it's just gonna pop right back up. Just for men is not for me.
They so disrespectful. These gray hairs are so disrespectful.
No, but Rodney Perry just got a Just for Men deal. Congratulations to Rodney Perry for that. If you ain't seen him, you know what I mean. Congratulations. He's on the box.
Oh, really?
No.
Are you captain?
Yeah.
No, I did legitimately Photoshop his new promo picture on a Just for Men box, and Just for Men added him on Instagram.
Listen, I met Rodney Perry when I was 21 years old. I got all this. I'm damn near 50, and he is still coming with the not fooling nobody. And see, this is what be killing me. And can I go here real quick?
Yep.
We as men criticize BBLs, but be out here with these jet black beards and linings. Like you can't talk about no chick booty, and you trying to fool people with these linings with the spray paint, and you see somebody with the like just. Let it go, bro.
If you're using the same airbrush that we
use, dude roast the BBL with a black beard, perfectly lined with spray paint, and just because women actually like older looking men. So you're doing it for nothing, the same way the BBL is doing it for nothing. Nobody cares about that.
No, bro, it's horrible. And the thing of it is, if your barber is using the same airbrush gun that we're using to do RIP Pookie shirts, you got the wrong barber. Like your barber need to be in art school.
You're not getting a haircut. You're being painted.
You're getting painted.
All right, Sean, thank you for joining the show. We're ready to wrap this up. What you got this weekend? What's your next gig? What's going on in Sean Morgan's world? And where can we find you?
I'm just at Comic Sean on social media. I think I got it up there. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I do spot dates still, but right now, I've been kind of taking a little bit of a break. Next weekend is my 25-year comedy anniversary. So I just been kind of, focusing on 25 years.
Congratulations.
So I took a little break. I said, most people would have went hard. I was like, well, I did 25 straight years. I think I'm going to relax a little bit this year and maybe go back hard next year. It's weird, but yeah.
You're taking a gap year from stand-up?
Yeah, listen. Because I was touring with my cousin Tierra, and then I was doing spot dates with Michael Blacks, and I was doing all this different stuff. So, and then I was living in Houston, so Houston don't really have a comedy circuit like that. So in order to survive, I had to be gone a lot. So now that I done moved out my house in Texas and moved around, I'm just kind of like, whew, let me take this little break.
Yeah, and it's well deserved, bro.
It hit a little different once them 50s, when you start creeping toward 50. That road hit a little different.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Dave, you got anything you want to shout out before we roll up out of here?
Yeah, man. Real quick, I definitely want to shout. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. Make sure I'm in the right screen. I want to shout out absolutely everybody who's been hitting me up for business coaching advice and for marketing advice. Also, we just launched a ghostwriting division. So if you are trying to get your next book out and you suck at writing, don't worry. I've put up 22 bestsellers, man. Me and my team are phenomenal with it. You can just always hit me right now. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at The Business Bully, and I'm around, man. I'll pop up. I like spot dates. Also, I got my protein shake. So we good. Go Eagles. And again, producers, clip the part where I said somebody's getting hurt this weekend.
Okay, hold on. Speaking of bringing producers, let me bring in Mr. White Chocolate. I got my white chocolate there. Sean, I don't even know if I told you I got white chocolate. I got white chocolate. He's not one of my producers in the back.
This is such light-skinned behavior. Anytime a light-skinned man gets a white man to work for him, hey, look, I've got white chocolate.
But what's funny is I'm looking at Mr. White Chocolate, Hembro, right? That's what they say.
Yeah,
and you could tell that he has been around a lot of black people before he said a word. I knew he fit right in.
He's a great man.
I was like, yeah,
No,
Kid
this
ate some
this,
seafood
Listen,
chicken.
let me
the
tell
white
you
man
something.
get.
Let me tell you something. The young kids, I tell them all, listen, I was in the hood before it was a hood. You guys don't know nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
You
look,
guys,
and
you guys think
I
you're in the
seen
hood.
it
I was
on
there.
you.
I was
I
there
seen
before you
it on you
guys.
as soon as they
I
clicked
was
in
there before you guys. I went to school in the hood, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tell
he
them all
did.
they got their huggies on. They have no clue.
That's where I met him. I met him in the hood. I was going to Boston Tech at the time. I met him there. So that's
Yeah.
Also, shout out to my man Kevin's in the background too, and Lance Woods joined the show while we signing off. Lance, we rolling up out of here now. We signing off, Lance.
Hey man, as long as I got to see white chocolate, I'm satisfied,
That's
man.
all that matters. We
You
don't
know
do
what I'm
this show for
saying?
you.
All right,
Thanks, Lance.
Sean, what up, baby?
Was good.
How
Was
you
good.
feeling, sir?
Hey, I'm good. I can't complain, man. It's always good
Shot
seeing you,
Town in the
brother.
building, man.
right. Shout out to the business. Sean, who's
Come
going to the
on,
Super
man.
Bowl?
The business bully is here, man. Tell
Ah,
them why they broke and why they gonna stay that way unless they listen to you.
I just want you to do one of my videos, bro, where you just shit on the fact that I'm shitting on people. That's all I want.
Send me the one you want me to do. I'll do it right now.
He gonna do that. He
Tell
gonna
them
do
why
that.
they gonna stay up. Tell them why they gonna need that EBT card because they ain't listening to the advice you trying to share for free.
Right. That part.
Now, Dave ain't got no free advice. He don't need that. That don't even compute to him. Free, nothing's free. Compute to Dave.
Well, I mean, you know, you know, what I mean, it's like fat free. They're just saying that the fat don't cost nothing, but you gotta
They
pay
do.
for the food.
That's funny.
Just
But
follow me, Frank.
I'm sorry, Sean. Before you roll up out of here, because I don't know if next time I'm gonna get you. Give me your Super Bowl prediction. Who gonna win, and then we gonna re out of here.
I
He
think
gonna
as
pick
much,
the Bears.
and
You know
I'm
how
from
Chicago do.
I'm from Chicago, so I hate to say this, but I think it's gonna be Lions and Kansas City. But I think Kansas City gonna edge them, and Pat Mahomes gonna be the first back to back Super Bowl winner.
He said 4. You meant 3, but I didn't say
Well, whatever.
Yeah,
No, I said back to back.
and you added one more, but it's okay.
Okay,
It's
whatever.
okay.
You know,
Sean, thank you for taking that time, bro, and appreciate you for joining the show. I hope you enjoyed
anytime.
yourself, man. I hope did that, and thank you, man.
I
Listen.
appreciate you inviting me. You know, good meeting y'all. And Lance, my dude, you know I love you. We go back a
Hey,
while.
man, I love you, man. You know, Sean Morgan's one of my favorite comedians, man.
Yeah, Sean's a dude.
He's been funny. He's been very funny for a very long time, man.
I appreciate that, sir.
I know this. Matter of fact, one of his first stand-ups, I don't know if it was Bad Boy comedy. I don't know what it was, but I was like, this dude right here, he's special. Yeah,
I think you talking about the Bad Boys of Comedy show.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's so crazy because like the oldest thing that's still going is like the Big Black Comedy Show, and it's like clips from 22 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's still online, and that's bananas to me that people still find that funny 20-some years later. But that was like the first one. But the Bad Boy set is probably the most memorable one. Like when I see people, they be like, "You the one with the Batman" or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Actually, it's definitely one of the most famous one because it's got what 5, 7, 8 million clip. 8 million views.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
I also got to shout out the ladies on the sideline who are supporting us, like Trina, Renee. Who am I forgetting? Oh, my wife is in Washington. Yeah, can't forget her. She holds it down. Yeah, and she gonna beat me up this weekend too. You know that.
She's your ass, Frank.
Yeah, she is.
I'm not gonna say that for Mrs. Holder.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing else because I want to make sure I eat this weekend and I don't want to sleep on the couch. So there you go.
That's right. Couch is stuff.
No, but people have to ask Sean the most important question that everybody's been too afraid to ask him. Did he touch you?
See, now,
are you safe?
Look,
are you all right?
I say
how much did you have to do for the Sean John? That's all I want to know.
So I can say this. I did Bad Boy twice, and actually, a lot of people don't know this, but me and Howie, we used to tour with New Edition and all that with Diddy. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you 2 people who ain't on none of them tapes. At the end of the day, I'm still a Chicago Negro. And they know who to pull it with and who not to pull it with.
Right. Chicago Philly Negroes do not need baby oil.
Like Tupac, people like Tupac was a fake thug. Like you don't really want to know how deep Chicago kind of can go sometimes. So I don't think he did that to none of the Chicago people.
Yeah,
we're not gonna bend over and pick up the dollar like some of them people did.
Another conversation. Anyway, y'all, we got to get out of here. Sean, you got the last. Sean, thank you for joining us. Lance, I'm gonna give you the last word since you just joined the show.
Yo, this went left real quick. It went, it went a place. You know what I mean? Nah, man, I wish I could have came earlier. Got here early.
Oil.
Yeah, it turned into a slippery slope. You know, leave
Lance,
it to Dad to bring up that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We
no
supposed to be
maybe.
talking about our financial advice, and you done went on to some whole other situations. You know what I'm saying? We ain't here to talk about all of that.
Just trying to make sure my brother's mental health is okay, bro.
Nah,
And
we good. We still
I mean,
good.
it's
That's the
rejects for
question
making
I
a
got
band out
100
here
times.
cashing out. That's all I want to know. It's people who are making money cashing out right now. If he's entitled to compensation, I want to make
That
sure he
is
gets
funny.
it.
and all I'm
Listen,
trying to do is close the show out. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to
That's
close the
it.
yeah,
show.
it's over.
Yeah,
That's
I'm sure
it.
the show's over. Thank y'all for watching. Box Seats will be back Monday, 5 to 6. And I got to thank Sean for joining the show. I got to thank Lance for joining the show at the last second, even though he joined. That's my man. Love that. Dave, the business bully in the building. Thank you for that. Thanks to my producers, Kev, and Mr. White Chocolate himself. Thank you all for watching. We'll see y'all Monday at 5. And I can't wait to come in Monday because then we see who was right and who was wrong. But we see y'all. Thanks, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Go